Hey everybody, it's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. It's Thursday, February 13th, 2020. Keeping this going every single day for the rest of the year, just like I promised you guys. So, today what I want to talk about is pitching depth, right? So, if people don't understand, and at least the casual baseball fan doesn't understand, is that a lot of people look for these top pitchers and these aces and these big hitters, but what wins championships is the depth in the baseball. That's why a 25-man roster is important to every last guy, now 26, right, with the change. Every last guy is going to be important, and there's guys who are going to get you wins. Like even last year for us, not pitching, talking about guys like Dyson was very important for us. He would come in and help us, and he wasn't a guy that you expected to make big impact, right? But talking about pitching really fast, and I meant Jared Dice for the Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly last year for the Diamondbacks, for example, was sometimes amazing, sometimes awful, right? But he pitched almost every game. He pitched well sometimes, and he ate innings up. There's times that if you're going to be successful in anything in MLB, doesn't matter even if you get your ass kicked by 15 runs. You need depth. You need people to do a lot of innings through the course of the year. You cannot have your aces constantly going 8 innings all the time. It's just not that game anymore, unfortunately, right? So the reason I want to bring that up is, for example, let's talk about the Diamondbacks for a second and Mike Leake. Mike Leake, now coming into this, he hurt himself chasing his dog. If that's true, who knows, right? So he's hurt his left hand, so it's not his pitching hand. So he may be out for a while. You know, it may not affect his start. It may affect him where it pushes him back a little bit, so he's not ready in the beginning of the season. Who knows? But the point is, why it's important is that the Diamondbacks have 7 or 8 starting pitching. They already have their guys established, so they can afford to lose a guy like Leake. But let's talk about the World Series champions and the Nationals. A couple years ago, whether it was Scherzer and Strasburg, they've been on the team for a while now together. What was the big difference with the Nationals last year? A big difference was you had Patrick Corbin, who was on the Diamondbacks, and he was good, but when he went to Washington, excelled. Another big difference was Anibal Sanchez, right? This is the depth that was helping the teams and there wasn't all this big workload on depending on Scherzer and Strasburg always to win. You need guys in the back end of that rotation to pitch well. You need them to win at least 9 to 12 games sometimes, and you need them to do their job and stay healthy. That is why any team who's going to be successful is going to win. The reason why the Yankees couldn't do it, they didn't have enough. The Yankees didn't have enough. That's why they went out to get Garrett Cole. They did not have enough in their depth. It just wasn't. You had Severino, Tanaka. It wasn't enough. This was I'm talking about a couple of years ago. You definitely need guys to eat up innings. You need to preserve the arm of these aces, and you never know in the playoffs. Going back to the Diamondbacks in 2001, guys like Brian Anderson and Miguel Batista shut down the New York Yankees, right? In New York, to be honest with you. They did very well. And, you know, they didn't win those 2 games, clearly, because of the bullpen on one of them. But the fact of the matter is they kept them in the game. And that kept Johnson and Schilling able to do things, right? And that's not just I'm just talking about the Diamondbacks. I'm a Diamondback fan. But that goes for any champion, right? Even with Boston a few years ago, you know, even if Porcello got hit hard, he was able to eat up innings sometimes, right? During the season. It just didn't matter who it is. You need people to eat innings up. A guy who always comes to mind, who's the top of the rotation guys who eats innings, is Adam Wainwright, right? He's no longer an ace no more. But if he goes out as your number 4 or number 5, he's still going to go out and eat innings. He's still going to give you 6 to 7 innings, hard pitch. Whether he gets blown up or not, he's going to be there. So those are the guys you need to be at the back end of the bullpen. And that's why it's so important what I think Mike Hazen does in getting these guys and getting little guys here and there to pitch at the end helps, right? And then if you can't get that, or if you need to survive with the bullpen, at least you got a couple of guys you can shorten the start and have it like maybe 5 innings and then go from there. But for the Diamondbacks to have Bumgarner and Robbie Ray and Luke Weaver, and then you got Kelly. So those are guys, and if you got Alex Young can come in, and those are guys that's going to help really fast the Diamondbacks excel. That's going to be a very, very big thing for the Diamondbacks, and I'm excited to see that. And that's why another reason is the Diamondbacks probably were hesitant to get rid of Robbie Ray, because you never know. You never know. He's a really good pitcher, and you don't want to put all this pressure on other guys. It's nice to have a safety net. So who are the teams this year who have that? And now the reason I'm mentioning the Dodgers that they don't is I don't see the depth that they have. I know they got pitchers that can pitch, but is it stuff? Is it guys that you can rely on, right? We know they got Kershaw, who's amazing. You know, you got Buehler. Those are the top guys, right? But besides Price, if he stays healthy, who are the guys they're going to rely on? You know, they just got rid of Maeda. So who is the guys that... It's got to be a couple young guys. There's going to have to rely on some of those guys because that's going to be the only way. And usually the Dodgers really do well with the young guys stepping up. But that's going to be very important. And the Dodgers very well may win the division, but the most important thing is if they want to get far, if they want to get past in the first round or even get to the championship, they're going to need other guys to step up. And it can't just be the same Kershaw and everybody. To win, they're just not going to happen. Kershaw's not getting any younger. He's not fooling anybody as much as he used to. And he is still great. Please don't correct me. I think that guy's freaking phenomenal. I love Kershaw as much as I'm a Diamondback fan. To watch that guy pitch, you know he pitches with passion. He's great. But, you know, sometimes you get older and it's tough to see. You know, with Randy, I was watching when Johnson was younger. He was still a shell of himself when he was getting older, you know. But when he was younger, he was just, Jesus Christ, 8 innings, 11 strikeouts, 2 hits. It was amazing to watch, you know. So the teams that are going to be very important, the reason why I'm mentioning the Yankees as one of the best, because when they got Cole, everybody moved down a slot. Now, if you have Cole and Severino, now look what happened to Paxton, right? There's a reason why you need depth. Because you know, no matter what you spend, you have to have other players. Those other guys, whether it's the minor leagues or a guy in the fifth or they're just as important as the number one guy at some point in the season. Not all the time, but in some parts of the season, they're just as important, right? Let's go to the NL East. It's a very big thing with the Braves, the Braves and the Nationals, right? The big thing is the Nationals got 4 pitchers. The Braves got some young pitchers that are doing well. The Mets have some really good pitching. You know, when you have throw out guys like DeGrom and Syndergaard and Matz and Stroman, you got good pitching. The Mets should do well. They just for some reason just blow it. They choke. But they have some really terrific pitching. And it's scary. You know, when you throw those guys out, nobody wants to play a team like that. Nobody wants to get a team like that hot in the middle of in the playoffs. Because if you looked at the Nationals in the middle of last year, you wouldn't even said anything about them. You're like, all right, they're out. And then look what happens. Because it doesn't matter. If you get in, and that's it. And then it's really going to be about who built the debt and who's hot at that time. You know, that's just another thing. And then let's go to the Central really quick. Cubs, they're getting old. They're gone. I told you it's a 2-team race. And for me, the reason why Milwaukee's out, their pitching's not as good, is a big thing the Reds for me, because they got Sonny Gray and they got Castillo and they got Miley, who's a guy who eats innings, you know? So that's a really big thing for me and Bauer. But just Miley is a key to me because he's in the back end of the rotation. And he still can give you innings and he can still pitch well. He may not do amazing, but he still will go out every 5th day, pitch hard, not walk as many people, and do well. The Dodgers, a guy like Jimmy Nelson, if he can bounce back, oh God, then the Dodgers are scary as hell. Because Nelson at one point before he got hurt was terrific. You know, there's a lot of what ifs and what can happen, you know, but again, you know, you get what I'm saying, right? To anything you want to do, anything in baseball you want to win, you got to have depth and you got to have guys at the back end. Same thing for the bullpen too, but to me, I wanted to talk about more the number 4 and number 5 starters. We can't sleep on these guys. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know who you guys think who's a really clutch guy, like a number 4 and number 5, right? Like last year was Anibal Sanchez. He was really well. He rejuvenated his career, and he really gave a big boost to the Nationals at some point. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.